What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to restore Don't Cry Jennifer from Clock Tower. Now, we already did this one. This one came to us as a commission from Inharmonic, and we did that a year ago, and since then I've actually lost the project file that I originally did. Um, Inharmonic wanted an adjustment to this, but I couldn't do it because I don't have the project file anymore. And I said, so I said it would have to be another commission, and I actually have, this game uses mostly sound canvas. Actually, I think it's pretty much all sound canvas. And since then, I've discovered that that most of the samples available in sound canvas, because the sound canvas is actually a very compressed in and of itself. It has a very small ROM, so the samples are not very high quality. They're higher quality than the game, but they're still not as high quality as the CDs would be. So I've recently found that most of the same samples that exist in the sound canvas also exist in the Roland CDs, but at much higher quality. And I had made this discovery after I made this restoration originally, so that means that I have the capability of doing this restoration at a lot higher quality. So, upon hearing this, Inharmonic wanted to commission this again to be redone, and then the proper adjustment could be made. So that is the story there. That is why I see someone asked, "Didn't you already restore this one?" That is why we're redoing it. And Inharmonic asks, "Will the up and down sound that starts at 11 seconds be quieter?" I found it a bit distracting in the first remix. Yes, make sure that just make sure to point that out to me if I don't already address it. I won't be like, because we're gonna be redoing it, that might already take care of itself. Like, I might just hear that and be like, and just set that to the proper volume. But if I don't, then definitely bring it up to me and I will adjust. So long story short, we can do this with higher quality samples now, because we have higher quality samples than the sound canvas allows. So we will be doing that it's definitely going to be a fun exercise, and it'll definitely sound a lot better than than even the original restoration sounded. So let's get started. I have my Midi here, and we will import it with Fruity LSD. And then we'll load in our DLS file, which will give us the sound of the original instruments from the game. Mostly. This one's a little bit glitchy. For example, the kicks that I want to draw your attention to, the kicks that are playing in the track. And they're I'll pull up the original here for posterity, like the actual original. In Kuroneko, it should be playing. Yeah, it's playing. So you hear there's these kicks here, and these are electronic kicks, which means that the way an electronic track produces kicks, I'll solo the kicks right here so you can hear them. So the way an electronic, like when you hear a techno track or an electronic track, the way it produces kicks is they take a sine wave and they just pitch it down really, really fast, so that it's only audible as a little click. And that's how people recreate a kick drum. Because an acoustic kick drum, basically you have the beater on the drum, and it's like a hollow film that moves in and out. And at first, when you hit the beater, it moves at a really high frequency, then it rapidly goes down to a lower frequency before fizzling out. So electronic tracks recreate this by just using a sine wave and pitching it down really fast. So, and the whole point of saying this is that what's happening in this track is actually just a sine wave. Yeah, it's just using a sine wave, but it's pitch bending it really fast down, so it's sort of manually creating a kick within the SNES, essentially. So what that means for our Midi is that the Midi actually just stores it, like what you see here is just these notes, and you're only going to hear, if you play the Midi back, you'll only hear a sine wave. That's this sine wave playing right here. So it's not pitch bent. We don't have our pitch data. So what we're going to have to do is manually use a manual sine wave and then do the pitch bend ourselves. So that's one thing that you're not going to hear right in the Midi here. The other one is the scream. There's like a little scream sound that plays at some point. I'll play it on Pure and Echo. That one. That what? It plays as a different sound here. It plays as some kind of drum. I don't know why, but it's not a drum. It's a scream. And it's and so we'll be correcting that as well. So, and there's 3 empty tracks here that aren't used, you know. So we'll remove those. So the rest should sound fine. So the first thing we want to do then is like a heartbeat, kind of like a heartbeat. It's similar to a heartbeat. A heartbeat takes a similar, you know, punch as a kick drum, which is why we like kick drums so much. You know, they kind of sound like heartbeats. So it does that. It could also be that the composer was trying to create a heartbeat too. You know? Does sound kind of like a heartbeat, that's true. Sounds implied to be Scissorman's laughter. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that. That's yeah, that makes sense then. That's pretty cool. Nice little engineering tidbit. Hello, Rarity the Final Arts. Welcome. Okay, so let's get into this one. Let's go channel by channel. We have these choirs, and we also have some echoes over here. Very subtle echoes, and in the as you can see in the later in the bottom channels, they're timed later than they are here. Actually, there's a space between in the whole song. There's like a small space. So let's remove that small space. Zoom in, and then we're gonna go, I think it's a quarter of a step. No, it's actually less than that. Let's disable the grid, and then look, it's like almost nothing. So then, let's see if do we have a repetition here? No, I think it's not repeated. Yeah, it's not repeated in the MIDI. So let's just make this unique. And now we have one without the space. So everything should align perfectly to the grid. There doesn't seem to be any drift here, which is good. So it all stays on tempo. So now with that being done, we have 2 echoes here, but these 2 echoes are the same time. Why is that? So, but if you look, there's 2 different, this one's panned to the right, and this one's panned to the left, which means probably there is supposed to be a pitch difference here, but we don't have any pitch data. So let's look at that in the SPC, the original. I think, yeah, he's creating a stereo effect here. One is probably a little bit different pitch. Yeah, I can see, you guys can't see this, but I can see the info here. One channel is a little bit higher pitch, so he's basically creating a stereo effect here with an echo. So that's kind of what we want to create when we do this choir. And the choir that we're going to be using, the composer got the choir from the sound canvas, but the sound canvas actually doesn't even get the choir from any Roland disc at all. It actually gets it from from Best Service Classical Orchestra, which we will be using here. Actually, I wonder if some of the other samples that are not found on the Roland disc can be found from like that disc as well. That'll be interesting. So one thing that you'll notice is that this is higher pitched. So this is like if we change the root note here, I think this is a different pitch, yeah, I think it's up here. Something like that. Or one of these notes. Maybe this one. Yeah, this is the one. So it samples a G note here. But as you can see, we have a lot more samples in this contact patch. So one thing to note is that it might sound a little different because where the game only uses one sample, we have samples for every different note here. So these samples might sound a little bit different. So that'll be something to be aware of, and also the sample we use in the game is up here. The root pitch is up here, but the game samples it way down here at actually here. I think it's here because we changed the root note, but so that'll be something to be aware of. So now, if we go and copy these notes, find first empty, and call it choir. Then it might not be the right pitch. Let's see. No, we need to transpose it up an octave. Yeah. So it sounds a little more muffled in the game because it's using a higher note. I think it's here. It's up here and on the G, and then the game is playing it almost an octave lower, which might be for desired effect. Oh, so this is how you do it. Yes, this is how we do it. Yeah. So welcome to the stream. I always stream my tracks that I restore so everybody can see how I do it. So let's go and check out this choir. So now it sounds more muffled in the game, so we can approximate that by giving it a mixer track. So we want to, I'm going to use this channel, this mixer out in contact right now, and then we just go and say, hey, mixer track 1 is going to go to, or out 1 is going to go to mixer track 2, and we're going to call this choir. And now we'll see it in the mixer. And so now we can kind of get that muffling sound that we do in the game. If we go and add an EQ, and we amplify the lower frequencies. It also kind of has, because it's pitched down almost an octave, it also kind of has a certain desirable horror effect. So if we wanted to go that route, we can also do that by, if we disable this EQ, and then we tune this at an octave down for effect, but then we also need to go an octave up, I think. Yeah, so we can kind of get that sort of unsettling effect. That sounds even better. Look at that. That gives us the effect of it being pitched down like it does in the game, but without any loss in samples, any loss in quality. That's a really good, I like that one better than doing an EQ. Nice. Very good. Okay, and I just want to make sure there's not like a low pass on there already. Good. Okay, so now we need that echo effect. So the echo timing, what is our timing? How far is the echo away from this thing? It's 1 step. Yep. So what we want to do is add a delay effect, pretty delay 3, and then we want to set it to be 1 step in time. And then I want to turn the feedback down to about 15%, so we really only hear 1 audible echo. Then, let's see, we have 55% volume on the main channel. 20 and about 16 on the echo. So we want about like minus 40, so 60% wet, like 60% power on the echo. And then I want to give it some diffusion and then spread and then some offset so it sounds like a real echo. And then let's see how that sounds. Nice. Sounds pretty cool. It also sounds a bit faster in the game. Let me check that and make sure it actually sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds a bit more sudden in the game. Maybe we can like quicken that. We can recreate that effect by giving it a little decay. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So if you turn the sustain, if you give it a little decay and turn the sustain down, you sort of bring out the transient in there, the beginning of the sample. And then you have to raise the volume to adjust for the loss in volume. Nice. So that sounds good. Yeah, I like that. I feel that the echo has more of a stereo effect in the game. Let me up that, like that offset. And I think maybe there's less power on the echoes. I hear the echoes less. Hold on, let me hone in on the echoes. They're not really different timing. Nice. Okay, that'll do. Whoops. Okay, I like that. Okay, so now let's see if we have any repetitions here. If we're repeating anything, then we only need to do them once, really. Like this part, this is a repetition. Actually, all of this can be kind of broken down. And I think this actually changes instruments once. Like not all of this is supposed to be choir. Ah, yes, it changes once, and I think that's where it changes to a synth, right? It's like these low notes here. Okay, so these low notes here are that synth bass, I remember. So we can remove those low notes, first of all, and then, so we have a few unique sort of phrases here. We can cut it down to this. But actually, this one's quieter in the beginning. This one is wait, no, that's the same. I was looking at here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay, so what we can do, let's set our grid to a bar, and then we'll control delete. Why don't you use Logic? Because I've never used Logic before. I like using FL Studio. Gotta have some low end. Yeah. There you go. I don't know. I've never used Logic. I don't know how to use that. I know how to use FL Studio, and I enjoy using FL Studio. Okay, so these are our two phrases here that are unique. So let's stick to those, and then we'll build it like a puzzle in the playlist later. Whoa, what happened there? Why did it go down suddenly? Oh, wait, because it plays down here. That's right. Yeah, so let me check on that part, actually. I want to make sure that that one doesn't change because it's using a lower thing. That's going to be an even lower sample. I feel that that's too loud. Oh, it is louder than it's louder than the other phrase, but still, relative to the rest of the composition, it's very quiet. Yeah, the choir there is supposed to be louder than normal. So I'd say let's turn this down about 6 dB. Nice. Where were these vocal samples originally from? They were from Best Service Classical Choir, the CD. I used Pro Tools once in college for a project. It was hell on earth. Yeah, I haven't tried Pro Tools once. It didn't really click for me. I think it's better for like sound design than music. It's not really good, not really meant for music. Okay, but that sounds good. We might need we might need an EQ to help us out on those low notes there, like on the deep bass. Yeah, there we go. And I want to make sure that we don't have any like subsonic stuff going on below 20 hertz. So let me do a little high pass over here. There we go. That sounds good. Now, I want to kind of do my mixing as I go. So I want to let me add some saturation on this to make it more exciting. Mostly because the SNES adds some distortion by default. So we want to like kind of approximate that by using saturation. Yeah. Now let's get an exciter on that to get some high end to bring out, because a lot of these old 80s slash 90s samples are lacking in clarity in the high end. So if we put an exciter on that, we get that back. Ooh, those crisp highs out there. Yeah, there we go. Might be a bit much on that high note there. There we go. That sounds very good. I like that. I wonder if we use reverb on this. Not really. I don't think he's using reverb at all. And they sound like they have reverb in the sample already. Nice. Okay, so let's move on. Well, let's go to that bass sound. So that bass sound was over here. So that is a synth. So we don't need a sample for that. We can recreate that using our own synth. And let me put contact up here. Yeah. So this sound, where is that playing? Down here. Okay, so that is a synth. So instead of using a sample for that, we're going to use our own synth engine, because synths are better whenever you have them. You don't want to do a sample of a synth. You want to recreate the synth. It's just it makes for a better sounding. Makes for a better sound. Now, let me go and find the waveform of this. I want to see the waveform. So here's the sample that it uses. I want to be able to look at that, and in Surge has great, it has a great visual, has great controls for morphing a waveform that you want in a synth. So it looks like we have like some divots here. So it's like, it's also flipped from what Surge normally does. We can reverse the polarity, and it doesn't affect the sound in any way. It's going to be the same sound. So just for posterity, we'll flip that. And then we can change the shape. Let's see. It's got these little divots here, which are affecting the sound. And I think we get that by, you turn the shape to introduce a little bit of rift here, a little cut, and then we'll do the width here to put the rift down here. Yeah. Wait. Oh, that sounds good. Now, the only thing is it's really bright and it's really raw sounding, so we want to like filter out some of those higher frequencies. Let me see. Low pass. Let's do 12 dB. Yeah, we don't want it being that bright when it's playing in a sub bass. Whoop. Want it a little brighter though. Yeah, there we go. Nice, I love that. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go and take this. It's really just this one note so far. Oh wow, so I think what is happening here is he's creating a stereo effect with the next channel, because I think the next channel plays this as well. Yeah, it's the same waveform. But then this one, it's an octave up. And then the other one is an octave lower to avoid it, but it's a little bit later. It's like a fraction of a second later to avoid any phasing. So let's go and add that. Let's take this. I'm going to copy this note so I get that space there too. I wonder if it would be a good idea to have this restoration end similarly to the credit song, "The Nightmare is Finally Over." Can you link that to me on like a YouTube video so I can hear how that sounds? And then I'll watch it and I'll see. I'll look at it once we get to the ending, and then we'll see what we can do about that. So let's find verse empty, call this sub bass. And then let's go and paste this into Surge. There we go. Let me go and find where that... Here it is. Yeah, so we have a stereo effect going on here. And I can't use... And so to create this stereo effect, we need to pan one thing 75% to the left. We don't have any pan on the choir, do we? No. So we need to pan it 75%, 77% to the left. So we need 2 of these things, really. Let's go and copy this. Paste it there. And then let's clone this thing. And then let's copy the value from the next one, so it's 77% to the right on the next one. And then from the next channel, we'll take this note, since it starts at the very beginning, and then let's put it here. Pretty annoying, but it works. Let's see. Let's hear it in action. Oh, it utilizes a sort of unison effect. So we might actually be able to create this on the synthesizer itself. So let's remove this. And let's sort of center this actually. Let's quantize it. There we go. So what we wanted, let's center the pan too. So we want to create a sub mix. So that means it's going to make it, it's going to create a lower level, like octave. Okay, so we're actually too low here. We want this to be, yeah. And then we want a little I think it's a detune, right? So maybe it's not a perfect octave. Oh wait, we don't have any unison voices. That's right. So, let's see. So for this, I would have to introduce, to make it stereo, I'd have to introduce chorus. Yeah, so insert effects, do like a chorus. Yeah, that would be the fastest way to get that type of sound. I know what type of sound he's trying to do. He's doing a chorus effect, basically. But he's doing it while also creating a sub, like an octave. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. It makes it quieter, though. And we also need it to be brighter. There we go. So, oscillator detune, let's see. Oh no, we're not using the detune, that's right. It's a little bit, I feel like there's a little bit less depth. So let's, yeah, I think, let me hear it also on the SNES just to make sure. That's the problem, is where does it play? Let me go to the... Ooh, oh, wait a second. This is that zippy synth. This actually has a pitch bend on it. That's why it's like that. So, but it's good that we're recreating this like it is. Because we're gonna put the pitch bend on later anyway. But where does it happen with both of them? Oh, wait, that does this. Hold on a second. Ah, yeah, that does this in a different part. We're looking at that sub part. So we have okay, this is the part where it plays that lower choir. Ah, here it is. It is one note. And then it pitch bends later. Okay. And actually, what I'm looking at on Kuro Neko, I would like to allow you guys to see this. Let me see if I can actually put this as a window for you guys. Kuro Neko. There we go. Now you guys should be able to see this as a window. And it's so as you can see, there is a it's not a perfect octave. Let me get it to go to where it is there. Okay, so yeah, you can see it as a different note because it's almost a perfect octave. So he's changing the pitch for sure. So and then it pitch bends later, watch. So it's going down, it went from D sharp to D. So the bottom note is staying the same while the top note pins down. Actually, I think they're both bending. Yeah, they're actually both bending. And it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have that chorus effect like I thought it did. So we want to create that sound. I think what we were doing before pretty much had it. Let's see. So if we copy this value, paste it there, and then clone this, copy this value, and paste this here. And then I go... This one has like a little bit... is not that long of a note. And then if we have to take the submix out of both of them too. This would be here. And then we go to the one that's delayed a bit. And then we copy. Wait, do links show up in the chat now? Oh wait, do they not show up? I don't really go into a lot of chats, so I don't know. If it send it to me on Discord and then I'll get it. Recreating a synth from site, no, don't think the sounds, don't think about that. I'm using both. I'm using sounds and site. You know, you gotta do both. Yeah, now. So this will be, we'll go, the first one was up and, yeah, the first one is up, I think. One octave up. The delayed one is the lower octave. Yeah, that makes sense. But I have to switch them. I flip them. Yeah. And so now let's check that. Yeah, that's getting there. Oh, it's the only difference is it's reverberated. So we are there. It just needs reverb now. So let's go and give this a mixer track. Let's call this sub bass, or call this sub 1. And let's see, we also need to pitch bend it, so let's see how much it pitch bends. I think it pitch bends a whole step. Maybe 1.5 steps. Looks like it's going down like 1.5 steps. So we also could use a chorus effect on that. Let me give this a mixer track. Then we'll send this one to the same one, and we'll call this sub. Now let's not give it chorus. Let's try with just the reverb this time. Try a short. I think it's going to be a short reverb. Whoops. That sounds good. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now we need our pitch bend. Cool. I think that they're pitch bending different lengths too. So let's bend this one to be, let's see. Try edit events, and then this is like, let's try over here, let's have it start. Control I to insert what we already have. And then let's shift it down. Oh wait, we need to zoom in some more. Go down 150 for this one. Wait. Seems like halfway through it starts. I think the scale isn't right. It's not going down enough. Let's see. For some of these, you have to set the range of the pitch bend. It's still not. Maybe 2. There it is. Now we have to do the same for the, let's send the second one down. Which one is the higher octave? That's what I want to know. Okay, so the higher octave, yeah, that one's the higher octave. Yeah, it's going down. Yeah, we're kind of getting the same effect, right? Might want to do more. I think this one's the lower octave. The lower octave did a little more, it seemed like. Let's do 200 cents. Or 2 notes. Yeah, that sounds good. So now the other note. Let's hear that in the original. It's almost sound like with the aliasing, it makes it sound like it's going up a little bit in the game. But it's definitely going down. So let's Control I to insert this. And then we'll go try 150. Now let's do more. Nice. Oh wait, I have to change the pitch bend range here too. Nice. Let's check that on the system. And now to get that sort of like aliasing effect, I don't know if we can get that effect. Because it almost sounds like it's rising. If we can get that effect, it'll be via bit crushing, or via sample reduction. So let's turn off the dry. Let's use this bit crusher. Turn off the dry. I don't know if we're gonna get that effect. Nah, it's not gonna be the same. It could be a product of different pitch bend lengths. No, because it's happening on the like with each individual channel. Well, let's see what happens if we do that. If we get it not quite the same. Let's do like 150 for this one. I do like the effect of that. Yeah, we'll work with that. Okay. Now, this is kind of a... kind of a raw synth even in the game. We do want a little bit more, I want to filter it a little bit more, first of all. And I kind of want to put like a chorus effect on it, or maybe a detune. Let's introduce a detune voice. There we go, now it sounds cooler. Maybe a little less detune, not so much detuning. Is there like a pitch bend range on here? Because I don't feel like it's doing enough pitch bend. Maybe not. Maybe if we increase it. Like if I... Oh, it can only go that far. Let's see what happens if I... Yeah, so the range is like... oh well. That sounds good, I like that. Let's also add some distortion, some saturation here to mimic the SNES's distortion. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's also filter a little bit more of that out. A little bit more of those high frequencies out. There we go. Nice. You want a little bit more brightness there. There we go, and it doesn't need to be so loud. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, we'll call that done for now. Now we can finally move on to the next one. See what we got here. Ah, we got a lower octave on the choir. Cool. So let's see. I know this first one is a choir. Do we have that on? Do we have it on that every time? Yeah, every time we have that freeze, we have like a lower octave, but not when we have this freeze right here. So that's okay. So let's copy that for our lower octave. And also for the one here where we have a longer note. Okay, so this is, oh, it's actually it's actually a power chord. So we have it playing D. All right. And then let's move this over. And should I put that? I should probably, well, we'll try putting it on the same channel. Let's select channel 1 and Alt C to change. Yeah, let's do it since it's a power chord. Yeah. Okay. Ah, that sounds good. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Okay. So that works. Now we have this like zippy synth that pitch bends. Only we don't hear pitch bends here. So let's just copy those 2 notes. And this is from that other synth there, but since we have it higher, we're gonna want we're gonna want to clone this. And then let's reset the pan. And let's call this zip synth. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so this one, now we can give it a different one, a different mixer track. Fresh mixer track. And so now we know the 2 notes that we start with. We know this goes over here and here. Oh, wait, this has to be here. Right. So let's find first empty and call this zip synth. Sounds like a zipper to me. That's why I came up with the name zip synth. Sounds like a zipper going up and down. So, and does this need to be pitched up an octave? Nope. There's a pitch bend here already added, so we gotta make sure to reset that. Now, I also have to do I think I have to do a little bit more cutoff here. Nah, it's still kind of, still a bit much. Okay, so now let's listen to it in the original. Let's try to get that pitch bend. Okay. So let's take note of where this notes, like you can see it on the keyboard. Now we have to take note of where the note starts and ends for the pitch bend. So the first note is definitely going from D sharp to C in the next octave. And then the downward note is going from A sharp to D sharp. Yeah, and then it fades out. Interesting. So we have here a D and an A. So it looks like it's kind of like going from D to the next C. So it's going up and then it's going down. So, but one problem is that we can't seem to get past. We can't seem to get past 2 steps on the pitch bend. Even if we set the pitch bend range higher, it still doesn't go higher than that. So there must be an internal setting here that allows us to set it higher. Hmm. Let's see. Is there no settings for this synth? Change pitch bend range. Current 40. Wow, 48 semitones is definitely not 48 semitones. So that is wild if it thinks it's 48 semitones. Oh, this must be like a different thing. MPE settings, that must be a different one. See if that did anything. No, that didn't do anything, so I think I'll have to just set it as a, I might just want to save this, actually, now that we have this as a thing, like as a synth itself, I might just want to like put it as a sample. And then I can pitch bend it how I want. So that might be the thing to do. We shall see. What about tune? Status tune? Apply tuning at Midi. Whoa, that is some stuff I don't want to get into. Yeah, I don't know about that. So it looks like we can't do that with this. So I might just take a sample of this and then do that. Let's see. Let's do that. So I want to turn this filter off first, because I'm going to filter it later. Yeah, let's do that. Normalize it and trim the side noise. And then let's put that as a sample. Let's send this to track 4. To track 4. And then well, let's remove this. I don't need it anymore. So now we can pitch bend it as we see fit. So, and then more importantly, we can specify which part, like what note we want it to pitch bend to. So let's set this to pitch bend to, and I want this to be the same velocity. Pitch bend up to C, and then back down to D on the second note. Whoa, what is that? Why are we... Oh, because I didn't give it an envelope. It's just gonna play the entire note as soon as I press it, which is annoying. I don't know why FL Studio does that. So let's give it an envelope that is just straight up start and stop mode for the most part with a little bit of release. And actually, we should sample it at the native pitch, you know? Because that's the low pitch right there. We should sample it there instead of there. Instead of on C. So let's go get Edison again. And then record this. Yeah, and then let's do the same thing. Normalize it, trim the side noise. And then we replace this. And now we set our root note here. Now let's give it a filter to filter out some of those higher frequencies. Except I don't like the way that the slope of the filter on the, it's taking too much away. So let's do it here with the EQ. There we go, that sounds good. So that's an easy way to create this. And then we will go, let's go and put some effects on it now. Give it a saturator. Nice. Let's also give it some chorus. Well, no, we already have, I don't know, but it doesn't really do, it's not really doing a lot of stuff, but I don't want to make it thicker. It can stay mono. Let's just make it lower. Let's just make it lower. Like in volume. Yeah, there we go. It almost sounds like an octave. Let's see if that makes any sense. If we put an octave on it. I think it's an imperfect loop point. We'll try with that. Whoops. Oh, you can't do pitch bends while you're using the echo delay. Wait, no, that's because we have to do one echo. Oh, you actually can't do pitch bends while you do the echo delay. Whatever. So let's just do note delay then. Wait a second. Actually, this is going to get complicated because of this one. Oh, no, it still goes down there. Yeah, I think he did store an octave in there. Nice, okay. And then I think it sounds like it actually sounds like it's all one note. I think they use release on here. So let's just quantize it. And actually, let's just make it all one note, really. No, because it has to start at a different place. Sounds like it does, at least. Yeah. Okay, that's getting there. Is it going up in like 2 octaves? Oh yeah, it is going up 2 octaves. It's going up to the next C. Gotcha. Wait a second. What's going on here? Oh, the sample's running out. I need a longer sample. That makes sense. Record that again. Okay, that ought to do. Okay, drag it in. Set our root note. I think that one goes, it goes to the A down there, right? Yeah. Nice. It also sounds quieter on this on the way down. A little bit quieter. So let's I think they do that with the also sounds just quieter overall. Nice. I like that. Okay. So now let's go to the next thing. I think that's all, really. That's all that exists in this channel. We can move on to the next one now. And I think it fades out too. We have to be aware of that. On the last bar, it fades out. Good to know. So let's move on to the next thing. Now we have our kicks. So now the kicks are sort of changing their starting point right here. So we have they are like descending. It's the echoes. As it echoes, it gets lower in pitch, which is interesting. So we're gonna need to copy this little riff here. And then we're gonna go find first empty and call this kicks. And then we're gonna create a simple synth because what we need is a sine wave, so we really don't need to do anything else. As you can see, it's just a sine wave. But there is some distortion here, right? Probably created by the SNES sound system. So that creates some more overtones there. They're very faint, so it's mostly just a sine. But it also creates some overtones. So but the saturation will take care of that. So let's load up 3X OSC. 3X OSC is the simplest synth in FL Studio. If you just need a sine wave, I just use that because it's low CPU. So I want to match the pitch first of all. We need to go down an octave. And I need this just to be 1 bar right here. I think it's 2/4. No, what? Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, so to do that, we're gonna want to do a pitch bend down within 3X OSC. So we'll turn this all the way down, all the way up, and then we'll do that. We'll do no attack, no hold, and then we'll turn the sustain all the way down. Okay, but actually I want it to, it's starting up higher than it is written, and it's going down to its normal pitch, but I want it to go to the other direction. So let's turn this in the reverse, and that means it's going to go in the other direction. Now instead of decay, let's use attack. Now I don't want any release on this. Let me do this like that. Actually, I don't want any release on this at all. So let's match this to the system now. It's also stereo, so there's also some panning information going on here. I think it's faster too. I need it to stay at that. So it's returning, somehow it's returning to its original pitch. Let me just turn out the release on the pitch. It doesn't work either. So I think I need it to actually be like like 2 octaves down. Let's try there. That ought to be low enough. So now let's use decay again. I think we need to go down an octave. Oh, that's perfect actually. Okay, and then the only thing is you can hear some of those overtones in there. So let's call this kick. And let's send it to a mixer track. And now let's give it an saturation. Okay. That sounds good. Now I do want my, just for mastering purposes, I do want my kick to peak at 6 on the master. Okay, and then we had some panning information here. Ah, yes. So here is our panning. And so that means we're going to copy. Actually, I don't want to put this into the notes, into the note pan. So 38% left, 38% right. And then we go about 66, 84, 95. So 38, 66 or 67. I think 67, 68, 67, 38, 67, 84, 95, 38, 67, 84, 95. Okay. So let's go to our kicks. $38. And I'm looking at this in the tooltips at the top left. It's telling me the percentage. 67. 66 is close enough. 84. 95. There we go. Nice. I like that. I think there's still, the pitch is still a little off. Let's try doing this. Let's make it not so long. Yeah, because you can kind of hear that sub bass. You want it to... There we go. That's good. Nice. Okay, I like that. Now, we got that. Then the next thing we have is, I think, another synth, actually. Oh no, this is the sound effects. That drum is supposed to be a scream. We have our sound effect here. This is a This is a guitar scraping. Like if you go take a guitar, you pluck the note and then you slide your finger down, like down the neck or up the neck. You start from up and you slide your finger up the neck, which makes the pitch go down. And then it's like it creates this like nice scraping effect on a distorted electric guitar. Yeah, so that's what he's using here. And in the sound canvas, this is like a sound effect, but we can also find it in the Roland guitar and bass CD, sample CD, in much higher quality. So let's find first empty, and let's call this S effect. We have some S effects going on here. So let's try to match the pitch first of all. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to be... I think it'll just be the same pitch, right? I think it's... Not quite. And I know it's not going to be the same as is written there. But we can just... Let's see. And it's not panned, so we can just make this, like, take one note, right? And then put it here at normal pitch. And I want to say that I want to give this an envelope, meaning that it's not going to ring out the whole note unless I hit the whole note. So it only hits a portion of it. I just want to check for the right pitch. It's a little bit higher in the game. I think it's one note higher. Might be a little bit higher than that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we want this to echo. Let's call this guitar scrape. Give it a mixer track. And I want to put delay on here, and I want it to be, it's pretty much a one step delay. And then want it to be like all the way. And we're going to have a lot of feedback here because we want many echoes. And I want some spread, diffusion, and then let's do a little bit of offset. Actually, I think it's 2 steps. Yeah. And we might be able to turn the level down. But in the original, it kind of sounds like it just... Yeah, so it's kind of just, hold on one second. Yeah, it's kind of just, echoing out a little bit. At least it sounds like that here. Let me check the original, the SPC. Yeah, it's fading out a little bit. Fading out a little more. Oh, it sounds like it's a little bit lower pitched. Yeah, we can roll with that. That's a good pitch. Okay, so now we want to get the screams, and the screams I don't have, like, they don't show up in the Roland disc. So we're gonna have to use the actual sound canvas for this. So let's go and grab Sound Canvas VA. And let's go to SFX. And then it's way down here we have like the scream sound somewhere. Screaming. There we go. Now let's remove the reverb. And then we're gonna make this like 150% volume. And then we just go channel 1. So the thing is that this pitch is like considerably lower in the game to sound like laughing. I can't, oh, I have to do it in the thing, right. Let's try and match that pitch. But I don't think that this, I think it's like the sound canvas like decreases the amount of like pitch range that this has. So it's not actually going down that far. Let's sample this thing at regular pitch. And then we can have a more accurate representation. So let's get an Edison. Okay, and then now let's normalize this. Trim it. And then we'll drop it into our project. And now we can remove the sound canvas. Now we can sort of test it out. But I want to give it a an envelope so that it can stop. That sounds good right there. Right? Hmm. Ooh, that sounds better. Maybe it's D. Hold on, let's go back. I think it's B that it starts on. Oh yeah, that's the one. There we go. Ooh, that's spooky. That's what would happen if you let it ring out the whole way. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. We got the sample. We can remove Edison now. All right, so yeah, pretty much. So let's go and get these 2 notes, right? Even though I might as well just paint them in. It's like, Okay. And then I put them here. Whoops, that's I have to go down an octave. No, actually 2 octaves. Yeah. So now we need to echo this. Yeah, that sounds good otherwise. Now let's give this, let's call this scream. And let's give it a mixer track. Or we should probably call it laughing. It doesn't matter. And now let's give that the echo. Same echo from before, really. Actually, we can save this as a preset. Just untitled is fine. That way we can go and have the same delay here, at least to start out. Oh, we need it to be more rapid. We need this to be a one step. Yeah, there we go. It's trying to make it louder. Actually, this needs to be quieter. Nice. Okay, so now let's EQ this. I want to bring out, so like, it's really low quality. So I want to bring out the higher harmonics as much as possible. There we go. That sounds a little better. It's also, there's some funny stuff happening in the low end, so let's remove that. Okay. Let's also give it a chorus so it sounds like it's stereo. Yeah. Now let's give it a exciter. Yeah, there we go. I love that. Okay, so now the next thing that happens here is like there's a snare, right? There's like that room snare from the sound canvas, but I believe that one uses this one, but the reverb is not added. They added the reverb on themselves. So if I add this snare, and then I just put reverb on it in post. This is from the Roland Drum CD, Drums and Cymbals CD. So this is this will be in the SFX thing. So if I just put this here, well, we don't need it to be that long. Okay, let's call this snare. And then we'll give that a mixer track. First of all, we want to distort it because I can tell in the game it has a lot of distortion, or in the sound canvas at least. It has more distortion than just the SNES. It was distorted in the sound canvas too. Okay, so this snare, let's see. I need to distort it even more. Keep high, let's do keep high. Ooh, there we go. Maybe not that much. Let me have this start right here. There we go. Now let's put a reverb tail on this, because what they did in the sound canvas is they put gated reverb on it. Like, it's a linear reverb that just suddenly stops. So we want to add, let's do like a vintage reverb, because it's a vintage type snare. But I actually don't, we might want to like more modern reverb. I don't know. Let's do the modern setting on this. Cool, so that gives you that sort of thing. And then you can cut it off by doing, we can use this plugin called Fruity Mute. Basically turns it off if you have it, like, given a knob. So, Fruity Mute 2. So then let's turn, so the mute is on, so if we turn this thing off, okay, well, we'll just do the mute knob. You turn it, insert it there, and then we want it to be muting here, like not muting here, and then muting when it gets to here. No, wait, it's the other way around. This one is muted. This one's not. Yeah, there we go. And I don't want so much of a pop, but I don't think we can do much about that. Let's just try using the echo function now. Oh, that makes it better. That's nice. The only thing is that I wish I could find a higher quality equivalent of the scream, but I can't. Oh, that snare sounds so good though. I feel like the guitar scrape pitch is still not right. There we go, that's better. Lovely. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so the next thing that happens, you can see my snares here. What's here? Oh, we have our timpani, okay. So this line, looks like we have two different bars of this. So this will be, so it's basically just this intro right here. But I gotta capture that whole thing. Here we go. So it's this right here. And then we can find first empty and call this timpani. And then let's go to our contact things, because this is the contact patch. So let's go and add in our timpani. And this is going to go to a separate master output channel, just so it doesn't go into the choirs thing and start messing up. Let's send this to plugin outs 3 and 4. And then we'll send plugin outs 3 and 4 to mixer track 9. Okay. Let's see, this is going to be channel 2. Needs to be louder. Okay, now we just have to paste this line, and then we need to send it to channel 2. So we have channel 2 selected. Let's Alt-C, change it, and then let's see if we got the right pitch. No, I don't think that's right. I think it's an octave up. Oh, it's a G, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Nice. Pretty straightforward. That sounds pretty good. Oh, and it's changing panning too. So let's go and grab that panning change. Let's see. Oh, the screams are changing pitch too. Are changing panning. So this is going to be 39% spread, starting with the left. Let's go into... I think it's a little higher actually for the pick scrape. So let's go 38%. Cool. So now we want... Okay, and then I think this one... Ah, we have some like changes here in the panning. Ah, I see. So some of the echoes change panning here. That means maybe we don't want a, maybe we can't do a, actual echoes here. Oh, it actually it also changes, like, changes faster than I had originally thought. So it goes this. And then it mutes faster, I think. So we can achieve this by sending this panning information to the mixer track rather than the snare itself. Let's try that. See what we get. I think this one's it. No. Okay, so let's go here. How long have we been streaming for? Almost 2 hours. I think at 2 hours I might take a break. Okay, so we've got this information here. You see, I haven't seen a message. Messages. Okay, so going here, let's. So it happens. Yeah, let's do like that, and then. Nice. That's a little bit weird. I kind of want it to, no, I kind of don't want to do that. So this is like 77% spread, starting with the right. So let's go and cut this out. And then what I want to do is I'm going to actually put in Edison and capture the echo of the snare with its echo. Whoops, what is that? And so now here we have it. Wait, why is it echoing? I have it before the echo. Oh, because the echo is still in the chain. That's right. So let's take that, normalize that, and then we will trim the side noise and then drag it into our project. I'll replace the sample with that. And then we can disable the saturation and the echo and the reverb. And then we'll do like that. We'll remove that, and then now we have control over like the echo. So we can say, hey, I want this to stop when the sample stops with with only a little bit of release. So that means we can now. So now all the echoes are ours to control. So now I also want to remove the echo and the mute. And then I want to go 77% to the right here. 77% to the left here. And so on. Whoa, what's happening here? Oh, it still has some leftover automation. There we go. Actually, I do need to know what velocity the original snare had when it echoed out. Ah, I see. The pitch isn't right here. Let's see. There we go. I think it needs to be faster. Ah, no, it needs to have like this sort of. I'm gonna copy these notes actually. Ah, it only plays for like 1 bar. Okay. So that means I want this to just be like 2/4. Let me increase the release here. Nice. Okay, now I need to set my panning. So 77% to the right. 77% to the left. And so on. Nice. And the pitch still needs to be higher. There we go. Okay. That sounds good. Okay, so now I want to move on. We got our timpani. Now we have kicks. And then I think it just repeats. Okay, so now we move on to this, which is our echoes for the choir. And then we have a synth bass here, I think. Yeah, our 303 bass. Really cool 303 bass. So let's go and get Citrus for this. Citrus is going to be good for this one. So let's get a default thing. Let's set it to a normal pitch because Citrus likes to be an octave up higher than normal for some reason. Let's see, what have we got going? We got a good little sequence going on here with a lot of variation. Then we got some long notes here. Long boys. Oh yeah, we got a good little riff going on here. Cool, so let's... I can tell like this riff repeats a lot. I really want to kind of remove all the repetitions here, but we can keep the repetitions since there's so much variation going on here. Just do that. Have it be one long synth line. Okay, so... Wait, did I copy this? I can't remember. Okay, so let's find first empty, call this synth bass. And then we paste this into here. Okay, so we start with a sine wave. Let me make sure this is the right pitch, first of all. Yeah, it looks like it is. The right octave. All right, good. So now, and we can, I think I can, I can compare it really easily if I do this. Okay, so first let's make this a saw wave. And then we need to put a filter on it. So let's go and add this filter. And then we need to say this is like a high. Well, first, let's do a filter sweep. So this is going to sweep downwards. Remove this release here. Well, let's do tempo. Let's say this is gonna... Okay, cool. Now we need it to be like high. I don't want it to be like so. Yeah, there we go. Now we need it to be high resonant. Looks like it doesn't go all the way down. It stays up a little bit. There we go. It's sounding really good so far. I don't know if it has, let's see, I'm playing with it a little bit here. We can change the filter curve by doing this ×2 and ×1 thing. I think it's better with this. Nice. Okay, that's working. Let's give it a little bit of distortion. I think it gives it too much, so let's do that in post. Yeah, that's a simple synth bass. Actually, let's make it... I think we'll stick with what's here. Yeah, that one was closer. It might also be an octave, actually. So if we put this up an octave, and then we go till citrus, put an octave below this. That might be why the filter, was still showing like a sub octave that was like 2 octaves there. Yeah, this is supposed to be like an octave. Oh, but it still filters it out anyway. There we go. Nice. Okay, so now we want to make this, it sounds a little raw, so we want to like make this, want to mix this up a bit. Let's call this synth bass. And then we're going to give it a little mixer track. Now let's give it some saturation. A little subtle one. Nice. Now let's EQ this because I want to weaken some of those higher frequencies up there. Let's getting a little bit too high. There we go. That'll do. Let's also make sure that it doesn't do any subsonic stuff. And it's also, oh, it's actually really loud. Wow. I want it to peak at 6. But now we can introduce some more saturation since I know that was just natural. Now let's hear it in the SPC. Ooh, it's got reverb on it. And I do want to remove some of these repetitions because I want to hear different variations in it. Let's set this to be a bar. Let's go and select that, control delete. We'll delete all the repetitions things. This is also, yeah, this is like a repetition. So is this. Actually, this too, because this is repeated earlier. It's kind of putting a bunch of variations into one. This is not a repetition. Long note. But then that long note is repeated. Then we have a unique one over here. And those two bars are repeated. And so is that last one. Wait, this one is continued on to the next one. So that's not a repetition. Ah, it's like changing a little bit. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that one is unique. And then this last one is repeated again. Okay. So that's our whole line with no repetition. I think it's gotta be... Yeah, there we go. It gets darker if I do this. Yeah, I like that one better. Whoa. That was a cool effect. Okay, so the sustain is good too. I don't think I think 2 will do, times 2. Actually, or maybe times 1 works better. Yeah, there we go. And I do kind of want some chorus on that for a stereo effect. And remember, we do also need reverb. Yeah, there we go. And I like a good long delay. Ooh, what? Oh, okay. And I just kind of play with the settings till I get this effect that I wanted. I don't want that long note. I want that not to be so static. Nice. Okay, and then I want to apply a reverb after the fact because we already have saturation going on here. So I want to make sure that this reverb is applied after. So let's give it TSAR1R. And let's set it to be like 10 or 20%. I think it was a pretty heavy reverb. Maybe not that heavy. It seems darker in the SNES. Yeah, and the octave doesn't seem as... Yeah, it seems darker. I wonder if that's not a sub octave, but it's actually a whole octave. Like instead of just the fundamental frequency being produced here, what if it's like the whole thing? Ooh. That could be something. Or maybe it starts... Yeah, there we go. Just playing with the settings a little bit until I get what I want. Well, I'll play with that a little more later. Let me try back the octave, like the actual sub bass. I think that one was simpler. Yeah, that one was closer. Maybe it didn't have a sub at all. No, it had to have had that. Ooh. That might be something. No, I think it was an octave up. There you go. I think that one's the one. Yeah, that one's good. It's getting there. I like that. Okay, I think I might take a break after this. Yeah, this will be a good point to take a break. And then when we come back, what else do we have to do? Let's see. Pretty much all of this is the synth. And then the other thing is the you have the marimba. And then you have the glockenspiel. There's silence there. Okay, so we'll take a break and then we'll come back after that. I'll come back in like an hour or so. Take a rest. And all right, so thank you guys for coming to the first half of the stream, and we will be back in an hour or so. See you soon.